Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with Shadowfax again, and it was pouring rain earlier, so if he looks like he's been out in the rain, it's because he doesn't like going inside. Hello, ducks. Yes. Hi. Ducks like to be loud. Anyway, not the point. We're ignoring the ducks. We're here with Shadowfax. Forgive me if the ducks are incredibly loud. They think I have snacks, which I do not. But Shadowfax, we're here to talk about him. And he is muddy because he rolled in the mud. Yeah, you rolled in the mud, big man. Anyway, so why we're here today is because I've had quite a few questions lately about Shadowfax and about why we only have one mini horse. Aren't you supposed to have more than one? Aren't they herd animals? Don't they want to be with a whole bunch of other ponies? Yes. So why do we only have one? That's a very good question. Are those bugs bugging you? Luckily, it's getting windy. Bugs will leave you alone in a minute. But it's an excellent, excellent question, okay? Why do we only have one mini horse? To explain why we only have one, why he doesn't have any pony friends, I have to tell you a little bit about him. So he was actually born in the States and I'm in Canada. So I was not the first person to own him. I didn't breed him and I was not his first buyer. But when he was bought originally, he was bought as a colt, so a young man, under a year at the time, and he was bought and brought to Canada because the intention was to breed him, actually. Okay, the entire point was to breed this very beautiful gentleman. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I know, you're such a good pony. So the point was to breed him. Okay. So the point was to breed him, okay? So he was imported, and in order for the next part to make sense, I have to tell you what color he is. He is not white, despite the fact that he looks white. He's also not gray. He is actually a Palomino Pinto. He's just covered in one giant white spot. But genetically, he's a Palomino Pinto. So he was bought for breeding because the person who originally bought him wanted a Tobiano paint to breed to her herd. It turns out he's not a Tobiano, he's an Overo. He carries that lethal white Overo gene. So what does that mean? That means if you breed him to a mare who carries the lethal white Overo gene, the baby has a 25% chance of just dying in the first 24 hours. So responsible breeders don't breed Overo to Overo. That's why the breeder was looking for a Tobiano. It turned out when she got him, his genetic paperwork clearly said he was an Overo, not a Tobiano. So she couldn't use him. She didn't look at the paperwork before she imported him. And at that point, sending him back is like, you know, we have to go all the way across the border again. And it just gets really complicated. So she just decided, you know what? No, I'm not going to send him back. I'm just going to roll with it. So she gelded him. So that's why he's a gelding. She gelded him because he wasn't any use to her for breeding. And then he was sold to somebody else who wanted to buy him for driving. Remember, he was still young at this point. He hadn't reached his full height. So he was going to learn to drive. That's why he is actually started on the harness. Because he was going to pull carts. However, he didn't get very big. So mini horses are small anyway, and he's small for a mini horse. So he didn't get big enough for that. So he wasn't going to be used for driving because he was just too small for what she wanted. Remember, this is owner number 2. So she put him out in the pasture with her other horses. That's fine. That's excellent. Okay, very good boy. So that's fine. He was put out in the pasture with the other horses. However, she had stallions, and the stallions were being really mean, and they wouldn't let him eat. Okay? They would not let him eat. They were horrific. They were bullying him, they were kicking him, they were biting him, and it went on for quite some time. So we would be the next owner. We would be the people to buy him from owner number 2, from buyer number 2. We are buyer number 3. And when we bought him, We already knew all of this. She told us this. She said he was really skinny because the stallions wouldn't let him eat, and they were being horrific to him, biting him, kicking him. It was just not a good situation. So he actually developed a fear of other horses. So he needed to be where there wasn't another horse to bug him, to hurt him, to try to, dominate him, to do any of those things that a horse might do to another horse. He needed to just be Shadowfax. He just needed to be away from that situation. So because he's afraid of other horses, he can't be with other equines, okay? He has to be the only pony on the farm. So as long as he's here, we can't get another horse, big or little. It doesn't matter. He can't handle having another horse. Good boy. So he can't handle having another horse around. So because he can't handle having another horse around, we're not going to have another horse around. That's why he's the only horse on the farm. He is going to be the only horse on the farm for as long as he lives. Whether he lives a year or 30 years, he's the only horse on the farm as long as he's alive. There's Arwen. So that answers that question. He is afraid of other horses. He can't be with other horses. He's definitely not... It's not that he doesn't want to be in a herd. It's that he definitely doesn't want to be in a herd of horses. He has other friends. Okay, he has Arwen, he has the dogs, he has us humans, he loves his rabbits, he loves a lot of different creatures. What he does not love is other horses. So as long as he is here and he is with us, there will be no other horses on the farm. Anyway, I hope that answers that question, because that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. He's an only horse for a reason. It's not because we don't want a second horse. We'll see you tomorrow.